So just before Christmas, the big news in the digital procurement supply chain sector broke with the acquisition of Coupa by Thoma Bravo, possibly the largest and most high-profile deal in the history of the digital procurement and supply chain sector. And it's so big, I think it's going to have a meaningful impact on the job market in 2023. So in this video, we're going to explore what that might be. So let's start with a line from the statement that accompanied the news about the deal. I'm going to read it so I get it right. I don't really want to hear from Coupa's lawyers. It said, "We'll be taking proactive steps, including reducing headcount investment." Okay. Now, we don't know what that means, but I think, and we will find out over the next few months, but I think it's reasonable to assume that that probably means that the remarkable growth in Coupa's headcount on both sides of the Atlantic in particular will probably slow. And that's a big deal for the sector because in the last couple of years in particular, we've seen big headcount growth at Coupa. They pay their people well, they attract some of the best people in the sector. And that's been part of the supply-demand equation that's seen the scarcity of skills and also the salary growth in the sector. And so if you take the Coupa demand out of the equation or you reduce it significantly, that's going to have a knock-on effect. If you also consider that there are other organisations in our sector that have got some challenges, whether it be around product, funding, leadership, whatever it may be, lots of stories I'm hearing at the moment, then there are certain organisations that are constraining their hiring activity because of those sorts of issues, which leaves the rest who are sort of business as usual, carrying on in good shape, good foundations, decent products, etc. And they'll be the companies that are doing the demand. But what the impact of the Coupa deal is this: it will slow salary growth, it will reduce demand, if I'm correct with my speculation, and that changes the dynamic of the market when you add in all those other variables. So it's a mixed picture in the market generally, as you may have seen in my other video about my predictions for 2023. But the Coupa deal is big enough that it will impact the supply-demand equation, and that will have a knock-on effect for the entire market. And if Coupa can get bought, so can others. So expect to see more merger and acquisition activity over the course of this year, which in itself will impact on the dynamics of the hiring market. As ever, the one thing that doesn't change is who the leading recruiters are in the sector. You know who I'm going to talk about, don't you? So if you want some advice on your career options, talk to me. If you want some advice on your hiring options, talk to me or my colleagues. You can get me at andrew@everydaily.com. You can get me on LinkedIn. We'd love to hear from you. You know what to do. Thanks.